And we're back with Despina Priala for Talking Law. If you heard before the break, we're talking about retirement villages now. So we do know it is a great downsizing option, but Despina, there's a few facts that people may not know before signing this particular contract.
Yes, so look, it's a great downsizing option. And if you're thinking about going into a retirement village, it does need to be looked at and assessed very carefully on a case-by-case basis. And I say that because every retirement village is different. That's absolutely true. So one village will not be identical to the next, and that's why you have to look at it on a case-by-case basis. And I think the best way for people to think about going or assessing a retirement village that they're thinking of going into is you've got to look at it from two different angles, from a personal perspective and from a financial perspective. And they're a little bit different. So you shouldn't be assessing something purely based on how you like the look of it. And that's the only factor. You've also got to look at it from a financial perspective to make sure you can actually afford to buy into a retirement village and to actually stay there for a period of time, a length of time. So from a personal perspective, what are we wanting to look at? Okay, so we're wanting to look at things like, and as I said, every village is different. So they've all got different rules, but we want to look at things like, can you have pets? Okay, so a lot of elderly people in that demographic like to have pets. And I understand that I have a dog, as you know. So does the village allow pets? That's very important because they're all different. What are the rules about guest staying? So I know a lot of people that I've looked after, they go into retirement villages, they ask me, can I have my adult son or daughter stay with me? Is that possible? Are they allowed to stay for a week? Are they allowed to stay for a month? What's the rule about that? Okay, so really important to look into it. What do your charges include? So when you go into a retirement village, you need to look at what does the general service charge actually cover for things like, does it cover meals, right? If it covers meals, is it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or is it only breakfast and lunch? Or is it only a brunch? Or is it only dinner, right? A lot of them don't provide all three. So it's really important to find out what meals does it cover. Does it cover cleaning? You know, some of them do, some of them don't. Does it cover public transport? You know, often people don't drive or they don't want to drive anymore. Does it cover that little minibus that takes you to the local shopping centre? So those are personal aspects, right, that might be important to you. Does it give you a trial period? So some villages gave you a trial period where you could go in for 3 or 6 months, yeah? And at the end, you could say, you know what, I don't really like it. It's like try before you buy. I don't really like this.
Oh,
I want to get out. And then so if they do that, you don't pay the exit fee, which is what we're going to get to in a minute under financial. So some of them provide that, some of them don't. Okay, so that's important. Is there a trial period? And the other personal thing is, what about facilities? What is in the village? Is there a hairdresser? Right, little things like that. Does it have its own hair salon? Does it have a library? Does it have a cinema? Right? Does it have restaurants or cafes? Any other facilities? What am I getting in this village? So that's the personal aspect. On the financial side, okay, what we want to look at is the big one is the exit fee, or another term that people use, deferred management fee. It's the same thing. Okay, so the thing with the deferred management fee or the exit fees is the percentage of what gets paid and how it's charged is actually not regulated by the government. So this is why each village has different rules. You know, you'll find that some villages cap it at 35% after 3 years or 35% after 5 years, right? Or some of them cap it at 25%. So, and each year it's a gradual increase of what the percentage of my exit fees are. And the exit fees are essentially what you pay when you leave the village. So you might leave the village upon your death, so your estate pays. You might leave if you become incapacitated, so you can't live there independently anymore. Or you just want to get out of your village because you don't like it anymore. You want to live somewhere else. That's called the exit fee. And this is where the operator's profit is. Okay, and that's why, yeah, it's interesting that it's not regulated by state government, but it's the profit that the developers or the operators, the village operators, receive at the end of the day. So it's really important to look at how that deferred management fee is charged, how it's structured. Another aspect is obviously when you have to pay it. So after you leave the village, what's the time? You know, is it paid? When is it paid on the sale of the unit? And how is that paid over a period of 9 or 12 months or 18 months. So legislation was overhauled in the last couple of years, where if the unit wasn't sold within 18 months, the village would buy it back to stop this constant, payment of fees as well that continues after you leave the village, which is your service charges, fees, etc. So really important to look at that. Also, when you sell the unit, do you get to share in the capital gain? Like, that's a big one. So not all villages allow you as a resident to share in the capital gain. So if you bought the unit originally for 500,000 and then you're able to sell it for 700, there's a capital gain. So do you get to share in that with the operator, or does the operator take the whole 100% capital gain on the sale of your property? Yeah, it's really important. And the other aspect under financial, I suppose, is when you look at your exit fee or your deferred management fee, that's a percentage of the sale of your unit, you see, when it gets sold. But the interesting thing is some villages say, well, that's the percentage on the original price you bought your unit for. Or some villages say that's the percentage of what you actually were able to sell it for to a third-party buyer. So they're different prices. Yeah, so really important to look at the fine print and the rules there.
Yeah, they can benefit from all of that list that you've just given us there.
100%. And it's something that we're aware of, and you definitely should always get advice when you're thinking of going to any retirement village at all. Always get that advice and get that contract and your lease checked over carefully by a qualified solicitor.
Definitely. And if you do want that advice directly from lovely Despina, if someone wants to get in touch, Despina, where can they go?
They can phone the office 55291 294. They can email info@prialalegal.com.au. And this will be up on the YouTube channel at the end of the week if you want to have a look at it all over again.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Despina and Wayne.
Yep, let's do it all again next week, huh?
See you then, guys.
Are you confused about legal jargon? Do you need legal advice but don't know where to turn? Tune in to Talking Law with Despina Priala every Thursday morning at 8:30 on Radio 97. Despina, a leading lawyer with over 20 years of experience, will demystify the law and provide practical advice to help you navigate legal issues. Whether it's a family matter, a property dispute, or a business concern, Talking Law has got you covered. Don't miss out on this valuable resource. Tune in to Talking Law with Despina Priala every Thursday morning at 8:30 on Radio 97.